Hey everyone. So I'm here working again on my Holy Family piece, some personal work, and I have pretty ambitious goals for this piece. I want to make this really good. I want to make it a poster, and I want to really embody my Catholic faith combined with my experience as an anime artist, an illustrator, and comic book, style. So far, what I've executed here, it looks good to me, but it's hard for me to know how to move forward from this. I've always been kind of good at pencil sketches, but as far as turning it into finished work, I kind of have to plan that process. So I'm going to think out loud right now and try to figure out what brushes I want to use. I really like the pencil brush, and I honestly might stick with the pencil brush all the way through. But I want to paint this in a really flat color way, in an anime way, and just really stick to my guns. But here's what I'll do. I mean, obviously, it's not really refined yet. It's still a sketch. So I'm going to get in there with this pencil brush. I might make the pencil brush a little bit smaller here. And I'm not sure if I want to do a second pass, or if I should just stay in this layer and stick with this and really get the pencil drawing looking good. I think I'll do that. I'll just stick with it and just do another maybe 20 to 30 minutes here, sticking with the line art here, or the pencil line art. So I do think I want the original layer to be invisible, so I can make judgment calls without being distracted by that. But here, let's get the lilies in. For the lilies, I kind of want it to be kind of silhouette focused, just like white and green, something like that. Do we want one sticking up here? Maybe I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, let's refine. So I am using the airbrush as an eraser, and I'm gonna get in there with the pencil. I am gonna make this pencil a bit smaller. Let's go almost mechanical size at this point. I'm gonna change this and just start refining the drawing. Yeah, I think having this nice small pencil is good. And I'm just gonna let's actually save the sizes here. I think you can do this plus, and then here, well, 100% we'll do a plus here, so I can kind of just clip back and forth between the two brush sizes that I have. So one is going to be for details, and one is going to be for overall sketching. Now I think the hair did look a little bit awkward when it wasn't quite as long as we're used to, so let's make his hair a little bit longer. I think the beard length is fine, but I think the hair should be longer. Let's get the hair longer here. Should we cover the ear? Yeah, we can. I don't really want it to look like a mullet, so we might have to push the hair off to the side there. Something like that. A little bit longer. Is that too long? I don't know. We're searching here. That's what I like about the sketch phase. You can search. I'm still searching. Yeah, maybe the cranium is getting a little bit big. We are going to look at the sketch bit there, so we had the head a little bit smaller. Yeah, a little bit less here off the back of the cranium. Okay. Something like that. Okay, let's refine his hand. Let's get this lily stems here. The hand is kind of high. Keeping it very sketchy. Change the angle of this. I think he should be kind of resting it on himself, so I might move this around a little bit. Yeah, holding the lilies right there. Trying to reposition the elbow here. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, keep going. Okay. Now, when I have these little dresses, tunic skirts kind of falling straight down, it kind of loses the dynamism. So I do want to show that this leg is coming forward, and there would be a little bit of fabric folding right there. And here just kind of, I think this one can be kind of more coming down. So Saint Joseph the worker, you know, like, well, how is this little extra robe gonna be? Maybe as like an apron. Yeah, I think as an apron kind of makes a lot of sense. Kind of like that. And it adds a little bit of dynamism, a little bit of layering to the clothing. Show a little bit more of his ankle here. Yeah, I think a wider stance is going to be good. Yeah, I want him to look like a foundation, like his legs are planted. Even though he's leaning forward slightly. Balanced. I might have to bring Jesus down a little bit. Bring both of them up a little bit. Yeah, I think at this point we can remove the sketch here. Yeah, that looks good. I think Mary's a little bit small. A little bit too far behind Jesus now. I'm gonna blow her up a little bit. And move her closer to Jesus there. There, that's nice. That's nice. Okay. We're gonna airbrush some things out. And figure out some more. We're searching. I suppose there's no need to rush on this. I think if it's good, like for passion work like this, I think it's better if it's good Of course, finish is better than perfect, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I think I need to put more work into this than I would normally do for commissions. There's no limit on how well done this can be. We might even have like an immortal image here. Who knows? I'm not that ambitious for the recognition, but I want people to know Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Who's my audience here? People my age, and I don't know, anime fans. It's just I want to put this in my style. So, dropping a plumb line down here. Yeah, he's slightly centered to the left. I might move his head to the right very slightly. Yeah, there we go. That's better. It looks more balanced. Might make his head a little bit bigger too. The anime. Just very slightly like that. Yeah, just very slightly like that. That might have been too much. It's very slight. But it could be bigger. Yeah, that's better. Let's lift up Mary's hand a little bit. We want to relax, but also kind of like, again, gesturing toward Jesus. Okay. Bring back the sketch a little bit. No, didn't actually need it that much. I did not have a topic of discussion for here, but yeah, I feel like Saint Joseph, in the past year, I did a consecration to Saint Joseph. I've really tried to absorb his what he means to us as Catholics. The guardian of the Redeemer, we say. We don't know much about him. We know he was Jesus' adopted father. Not adopted father, foster father. I mean, I don't know what the right word is, but Jesus is not his biological son. But he loved, he was married to Mary. He loved Jesus and Mary, and he did the work to protect, to train Jesus as a carpenter, but also simply to protect them, and that's huge, right? Like, he was instrumental in salvation history, in that he protected the child Jesus and the Theotokos, Mary, the bearer of God. So he's huge in our faith. He's huge. He's important. And so, it's from him that Jesus receives his royal line, the Davidic line, that Joseph being a descendant of King David. I think the story of Aragorn kind of comes from, Jesus and Joseph, where he's from the royal line but exiled. So, just thinking about that. Now we want Joseph's feet to be planted, so we'll find it right here. Maybe this one's slightly on the ball. No, we want it planted. I think we want it to feel planted. So, yeah, there's something about the stance. I feel like it just could be wider. So I'm going to take his foot. I'm going to move it around. Something about this is not looking right. I think maybe that could be longer. I feel like maybe his torso is too long and legs too short. So I'm using my hands to measure right here, like this. I'm just gonna draw it in. This is the midpoint here, and then it's like that. So it's right on the midpoint, but I just think his legs could be longer. So I might lift him up a little bit, make him a bit smaller, taller. Lengthen the legs. Yeah, that kind of already lengthened the legs. I'm gonna lengthen this his garb, his loins here. I don't know what the right word is. His tunic. But I think in order to feel planted, I think this foot, the gesture of the foot, has to be out like that. Strong stance is what I'm looking for. Yes, there we go. That's much better. That's much better. The gesture of the spine to the hips, though, I feel like he could be a little bit more upright. Well, let's mess around with it a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Yeah, he's leaning toward them, but still the foundation. The foundation of the, the earthly family. Jesus obviously being the foundation of the spiritual family. Because he is spirit himself. He is God. But Joseph being the foundation, while Jesus is a kid, of their natural family. So that's looking good. So Mary now, I'm going to bring it back a little bit. Try to find that other foot. Yeah, I think right there. Yeah. So I'm going to get in there and just start, I'm just going to lightly erase things. This is how we do it on paper, right? We lightly erase and then we refine. I'm not going to make another layer. I'm just going to lightly erase as if I'm using the kneadable eraser here. This is how I do it on paper. Okay, so now that I have done that, I can really search for, we can start looking at anatomy. We can start looking at the folds in the clothing. Start looking at precision. I think this is why for me this time blocking method is necessary, because I think for pieces like this, I only have a general plan, but it has to come together slowly for me. I'm not great with pre-visualization yet. It's a skill that I'm working on, but for me, I tend to draw as an exploration, which is kind of why I like recording these videos, because for me it's like you get to see the process of the thing coming alive. So we'll look for muscles here. Yeah, kind of put in some muscles there for St. Joseph. Have that strong arm. And have the fabric kind of flowing out a little bit. Yeah, I have these angles here that are kind of just going with the flow. Might be a little bit too deep, a little bit too big of a sleeve. I tend to hold the pencil kind of far from the tip, especially in the beginning stages, but I got to learn to, once I'm, really want to get in there and do details, I can hold closer to the tip and get more control. This, I'll keep it, I'll make it a rope. So simple rope here for his tying. sketching the folds in the clothes. Now this one here is going to be over the shoulder and turning into his apron. And here, maybe another one over the shoulder. Maybe another one here over the shoulder. Yeah, we just want him to look cool. You know, this is the iconographic piece. I do like how big his hand is. Sketching there. I might start using hatching lines soon, like the great masters. Yeah, I might start using some hatching lines. Where is his sternum and sternocleidomastoid muscles here? We can get a little bit thicker on the neck. Let's push it a little bit. Make him look give us a superhero body here. Trapezius, yeah, we can push the trapezius. We'll make him look muscular. I really want to show strength in this iconographic Joseph. Push the shoulder up a little bit. Even push the triceps up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, push those angles. Okay, for Mary, I mean, the head already looks really nice. I don't know how much more I can do to that. Now, Jesus is a centerpiece. Like, I know when drawing the Holy Family, like, I think Joseph and Mary look really nice. But Jesus being the centerpiece should be the most beautiful one, right? So, I think I need to really get in here and figure out what I could do to make this look better. I'm gonna, put in my guidelines and think about what he should look like. Rounder eyes, the innocent childlike eyes. People have told me my style is similar to Ghibli, and there are a couple things that I did learn from Ghibli, like simple eyes with a simple one dot highlight. You don't need to go crazy with anime eyes. A lot of people do that, but as long as you get the expression right, people are usually, the majority of the population is not going to fixate on the details in the eyes. They're more going to see the expression, see what story it tells. Shout out to Sasuke though, the Sharingan. I'm going to mirror this again because I think something's off. Yeah. His face is looking slightly that way, so I want to center it more. I might take the face and just kind of move it around, center the chin. There. This eye, a little bit too far out. Change the angle of it. This is something I can never do in traditional art though, even though I'm trying to use the pencil to match my traditional art style. Just moving things around, resizing them only comes from digital art, and it just all the more impressive to me what traditional artists can do without the ability to move things around like that, make adjustments on the fly. Okay, so let's gently erase some of his clothes. So we're going to lighten things. All the sketchy parts, I'm going to just lighten them a little bit. I'm very satisfied with it, how similar it is to a traditional, pencil drawing that I do. I will use if I'm not tracing yet, I will use the eraser to kind of lighten things up. So now we'll get a collar in there. Since he's lifting his arms up, the collar is going to be like pulled up slightly. And let's start finding folds. Maybe a little fold right here on his little shirt tunic, where his elbows are for sure, where the armpits are for sure. Okay, longer sleeve, wider sleeve. Don't need to accentuate muscles on the child Jesus here. Just hold the form. Okay. Curve around this more. So we're going to mirror back to where we were. Yeah, I think that Jesus looks much better. His eyes might be a little bit too big now. Might downsize this one a little bit. When I zoomed out, it looked too cartoony. There's always a spectrum, right? From uncanny valley to total abstraction. I want to use the things that are appealing in real life and use the things that are appealing in cartooniness. You navigate that line by choosing what's appealing to you. And maybe to some people, they might find some style in the uncanny valley like satisfying and appealing to them, but not for me. I like the Ghibli anime face, the simple construction of the face, and the rest of it, like the proportions and everything. I want to look realistic. And this is something that I really admire about like the old masters, like Rembrandt and stuff. Like, as much as they were like master painters of the anatomy, one thing that they really captured, like Caravaggio, they captured the emotiveness of the faces in those scenes. They were doing storytelling with this work. They weren't just objectively, trying to master human anatomy and see how well I can paint that. Because I feel like a lot of modern painters, when they I don't want to I'm not talking down on modern painters, because I'm sure there's many skilled ones out here who are good at telling a story. But with academic work, it's like you're drawing the body. It's a study drawing. And what value does that have? I feel like you can have a huge portfolio of beautiful study drawings, but if they're all study drawings, to figure out, you can have perfect clarity and perfect shading on the human body, but it's not really going to mean anything to the people seeing it, besides the fact that this looks good, and this artist did it, right? This was this artist's study. But once you start taking that and creatively arranging, your figures, and creatively arranging, your composition to tell a certain story, that's when you can really get something beautiful and worthwhile. So for me, I'm taking what I know from anime and just kind of piecing it together in this drawing of the Holy Family. And I think this is looking good. I think this child Jesus looks great actually now. I think I did a pretty good job with the face. Yeah, I gotta trust the process. The refinement process is happening with this. I can see it in in the light shading that I'm doing. I think we're gonna start exploring value in a little bit, as we go. Yeah, as we go. Even as I say that, here, there's too much contrast here on the cheek. And since we're doing value as we go, I'm gonna brush in, you know, his beard and mustache here. I do want maybe his lip to be visible. Maybe even stronger, more of a beard here we can push the beard a little bit. Okay, let's shade his hair. Just a light brushing like that, get the little halo in there. And then Mary's hair. We're starting to work in value. So I feel like for this, maybe I should save drafts. I think that might be a good idea. Like export and save drafts of like progress on this. Because I think this is a really good second draft. Because it was a lot different from how it looked in the beginning when I started this video. And I think I get to see the timing of my pace, and it might even, well, you know, I'm going to do a time-lapse review on all of these, but I get to see my pace. So I'm actually going to stop here. I think I made a lot of good changes. You know, some things that I still think could be better, but I think this exploration is what matters. Funny, Joseph kind of looks Japanese here with you know, maybe it's the way I draw, or maybe, you know, all that anime influence. But they are Jewish, so I will keep that in mind. All right, so that was a good progress. I'm gonna call it another break from here. I'm gonna save some drafts, and I'll talk to you guys later. God bless. Bye bye.